Let's be honest, some interviewers really don't know when to quit. In a world where being LGBTQ+ still sparks ridiculous curiosity and judgment, it's refreshing, no, empowering, when celebrities take a stand and shut down ignorant, invasive, or downright homophobic questions. Whether they did it with sass, class, or pure facts, these stars didn't just answer, they educated, clapped back, or flipped the script entirely. These are the top 10 celebs who shut down homophobic interview questions, and honestly, every one of them deserves a standing ovation. Let's get into it. 10. Johnny Galecki, calm, cool, unbothered. Johnny Galecki was casually thrown under the bus during a live interview when hosts randomly brought up his sexuality. They tried to play it off like small talk, but the moment felt more like an ambush than curiosity. His reply?
Because I always figured, why defend yourself against something that's not offensive?
Johnny didn't panic. He didn't lash out. He simply called out the underlying bias behind the question, that being gay is something to deny or defend. That one sentence turned the moment into a teaching point, and Whoopi Goldberg herself ended up admitting how tone-deaf the question was. Johnny proved you don't need to be loud to shut things down. You just need to be right. 9. George Michael, the advocate who spoke with fire. George Michael was a pioneer in both music and LGBTQ+ visibility, but the road wasn't easy. Before he was out, the media swirled with rumors and speculation. After a forced outing in 1998, he took control of his story.
I have no problem with people knowing that I'm in a relationship with a man right now. I have not been in a relationship with a woman for almost 10 years. I was just so indignant at the way I'd been treated until then. I thought, well, I'll just hold on to this. I don't think they need to know. I don't think I should have to tell them.
He refused to validate tabloids who wanted to turn his truth into tabloid fodder. Later in his career, he actively campaigned for HIV/AIDS awareness, safe sex education, and LGBTQ+ rights. What made George stand out? He didn't just shut down homophobia. He redirected the focus to what actually mattered: love, health, and equality. And when people expected him to apologize or be ashamed,
I've never said no, I've never said yes. No, I'm not. But the main thing I like to express is that I don't think it's anybody's business.
damn right. 8. Tom Hardy, Precision Strike. Tom Hardy was there to promote his film Legend. But instead of asking about his dual performance as the infamous Cray twins, a reporter chose to dig into his ambiguous sexuality. Tom's face said it all, but he still responded,
talk to media about their sexuality.
What on earth are you on about?
And when asked directly if he found it difficult to talk about his sexuality, he hit back again.
Are you asking me about my sexuality?
Sure.
Why?
What?
Thank you.
Okay.
He didn't lose his temper. He didn't storm out. He calmly pointed out how inappropriate and unnecessary the question was, especially given the context. Hardy later called it humiliating and inelegant, making it clear that nobody, not even an LGBTQ+ outlet, is entitled to someone's private life. Lesson: respect works both ways. 7. Paul McCartney, a one-word masterclass in sarcasm. Paul McCartney was asked how rock star bachelor life compared to being married. And when the host tried to joke about alternatives to women,
Could you give me the alternatives to girls? Are there others?
Paul didn't hesitate.
Yes, boys.
Oh.
That was it. A single word. But the sarcasm was palpable. He flipped the awkwardness right back on the host and made it clear that the question had no place in the conversation. And Linda McCartney? Her smile said it all. When you're that iconic, you don't need a full speech. You just need one perfectly timed word. 6. Melissa Etheridge, Grace Under Fire. In 2008, the controversial Prop 8 ruling in California threatened to strip same-sex couples of marriage rights. Melissa Etheridge, an openly gay musician, came to The View to speak her truth. When co-host Elizabeth Hasselbeck suggested it was just a legal matter, Melissa kept it cool but firm.
To actually see human rights be up for a vote in this Proposition 8 and to have people vote to take away rights is, to me, at the core, is very un-American.
She also pointed out the hypocrisy of saying something isn't personal while defending legislation that affects millions of lives. Even when the conversation got tense, Melissa didn't flinch. She stayed respectful, but unwavering. Because for her, this wasn't a debate. It was her life, and the lives of so many others. 5. Lady Gaga shutting down gossip Gaga style. For years, bizarre internet rumors swirled around Lady Gaga's gender and body. Some people just couldn't handle someone that bold, that talented, and that unapologetically herself. When Anderson Cooper asked her about it directly, Gaga had the perfect response.
Why the hell am I going to waste my time and give a press release about whether or not I have a penis? My fans don't care, and neither do I.
Mic dropped. She reminded the world that her art, her identity, and her legacy aren't tied to rumors or body parts. Her LGBTQ+ fans adored her for it because Gaga didn't just defend herself, she defended them. 4. Janet Mock holding the line. Janet Mock appeared on Piers Morgan's show to discuss her best-selling memoir, Redefining Realness, but Morgan fixated on her transition story instead of her accomplishments. Later, she tweeted that Morgan had misgendered her and framed her identity in a way that turned her truth into clickbait.
Further showed other people in my community that if Janet Mock can be misgendered, if she can be labeled something that she is not, then what does that mean for me?
Mock didn't let the media define her. She stood her ground and made space for other trans voices by demanding more from journalism. Then, after the Breakfast Club made offensive jokes about her and trans women in general, she wrote a powerful essay calling for empathy, accuracy, and respect. She made one thing clear: trans people aren't here to be dissected. They're here to be heard. 3. Madonna, always ahead of her time. In the early 90s, Madonna was under fire for her open discussion of sexuality, especially same-sex relationships. When someone suggested her film might offend people, she snapped back,
Your fans will love the film, I think, but some people are going to find sections of it offensive.
Well, that's their problem, though.
You don't care?
No, of course not.
She wasn't just defending herself. She was defending every person who'd ever been told their love was too much or too different.
Well, I'm saying we already have these videos that display degradation to women and violence that are played 24 hours a day. But yet they don't want to have a video playing that deals with sex between two consenting adults.
She was right, and she still is. Madonna knew that controversy only exists when truth makes people uncomfortable. 2. To Ricky Martin, coming out on his terms. In 2000, Barbara Walters pressed Ricky Martin repeatedly about his sexuality, urging him to say yes or no. The pressure was palpable and deeply unfair. Ricky stayed composed, but years later, he said that moment was traumatic. He felt violated and unprepared. But instead of letting that moment define him, he grew from it.
If you have an egg and you open it from the outside, only death comes out. But if the egg opens up from the inside, life comes out. So be careful.
When he finally came out, it was on his timeline. And his vulnerability helped thousands of others do the same. Even Barbara Walters later admitted she was wrong. It was a rare moment of media accountability and a powerful reminder that coming out is no one's business but your own. 1. Laverne Cox, the educator we all need. Laverne Cox isn't just an actress, she's a teacher, a trailblazer, and a force for change. When Katie Couric asked model Carmen Carrera about her private parts, Laverne jumped in to explain exactly why that kind of question is problematic.
The preoccupation with transition and with surgery objectifies trans people, and then we don't get to really deal with the real lived experiences, the reality of trans people's lives.
And when right-wing pundits argued that trans women shouldn't use female bathrooms, she didn't argue, she educated.
My transition was about me existing in public space and thriving in society, and because I was able to do that, I've been able to thrive. That's all we want.
She reminded the world that trans people are not a debate. They are human beings deserving of dignity. She's made space for trans youth to see themselves. She's used her platform to amplify unheard stories. And in every room she enters, she brings respect, clarity, and undeniable power. So what do all these moments have in common? Courage, authenticity, and a refusal to let ignorance go unchecked. These celebrities didn't just answer the question, They changed the conversation. They proved that allyship, dignity, and representation aren't optional. They're essential. Which clapback inspired you most? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more bold content like this. Follow us for more voices that challenge the norm and celebrate pride all year long. Thanks for watching, and remember, respect is the minimum.